line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up.
Welcome back, race fans, here at PTM Racing TV, live here now at Homestead Miami Speedway. It's time to get down to business, time to get down to the action, as the Green Mountain Girls Fast and Fun Truck Series are about to take place in this track and in this field here today. Hi, Governor 9, I'm the Crusader Christian Trevor, joining you back here from a race in downtown Talladega Super Speedway. Welcome back to the show as always here as we prepare to go to battle here once at Homestead Miami Speedway. We got a laundry list of drivers here tonight, looking to possibly make their name and make or break their day, because this field is looking for only one thing and one thing only, and that is to bring the best of the best to the list and to the lineup as the championships draw near. The season is coming closer to the end of the core. So let's take a look at our starting lineup here today. On the pole, the 5, the mullet man himself, Robert Lawrence. In the outside of him will be the Marauder, James Harris in the 4. Row 3 sees the Richard Foreign Show Camp on the 90 is outside. Dan, the man star, number 14. Row 3 sees Sean Bounty, the Bounty Hunter in the 34 is outside. That's Stephen Bless in the 69. Row number 4 is going to be Sheldon Pierce in the 8 is outside. Tyler Meeks piloting up in the 35. Row number 5 sees Jason Taylor, the 15 is outside. Kevin Kersher in that 91. Row number 6 is going to be Brock Whitehead in this 82 is outside. George Young in the 48. Row number 7, well, that will be Triple Trade. The man came to play. Whitehead in the 33 is outside. Caleb Forsythe, the 76. Row 8, Rusta Full Board. Kilgore in the 2 is outside. Garth Snyder, the 88. Row number 9, it's going to be John the Diamond, the 39 is outside. Joshua Caudill piloting up the 23. Row number 10, Robert Gillard, the 54 is outside. Charles Whitehead in the 51. Row 11 sees Jacob Gibbons in the 20 is outside. That'll be the attacker of Colton Lions Manor, John Thacker at the 56. Row number 12, Adam Strom in the 95 is outside. Zach Derrick in the number 10. Final stars in this one. We got a laundry list of them. It'll be row 13 sees Steve Clegg in the 22 is outside. Eli the Wild Child in the 9, and Robert Wynn in the 16, piling it up the final countdown of our drivers here today. Field preparing in motion to go down for 100 laps here at the Homestead Miami Speedway racetrack here in Homestead, Florida. Time to see what can bring to the table and what will happen when we let these guys run them hard and race them quick. There's a laundry list of drivers looking to make or break their day and really put on a show for the fans at home as well as those watching on television right here on PTM Racing TV. If you missed the action with the Pushing Limits Racing League Next Gen Talladega race, be sure to head over our YouTube and watch it there. We've got the link. The link is down already in the iRacing end, so be sure to check it out. Over on the YouTube end of side things as we bring the Green Mountain Grills to life. 100 laps to the distance. Time to go racing, race fans. And see our flagmen even kind of coming around here. We moved that camera around a lot more than usual this day, so it looks like we finally got everything working on that end. Actually, speaking of working them on in and working them on that way. The roar of these beasts coming around out the turn. So turn 2 here, everyone's still in a heated battle looking for position. Jockeying their ways up on the top side, some going to the bottom a little bit sooner than later. Homestead Miami Speedway has really one big consensus here that I will say it really makes or breaks this track. It's a multi-groove track. Multi-lane, multi-run. You got multiple angles, multiple areas to play with. You can go to the outside, you can go to the bottom lane and make a slide job from the bottom to the top. You can make a hard charge from the ends of the spectrum. There's a lot of areas you can hit it up well, and there's a lot of areas you can get kind of trapped into. All depending on your driving style and how you like to play it out here really determines your benefactor and how you race. Steven Pless is 69 right now, currently one down right where he started here earlier at the lemonade stand, trying to bring some of those nice cold vodka lemonades to the party, into the pack here at Homestead. Hoping to hang in there when it goes down for the field. Well, alright, we got at least everything back up and running. I don't know what the heck happened on my end here, but alright, so God's flag is out here. I'm not too sure what exactly transpired. I see there was some carnage down there for the 51 Charles Whitehead and the Interstate Batteries machine. Got to take a look at the PTM Instant Replay and see what went down, what went wrong here. Looks like some drivers may have got a little collided in for a little runoff or two. For the PTM Instant Replay presented by Green Mountain Grills here today, let's take a look at it. So here's a little look at it. Oh, Kevin Krasher way loose in the corner and lost it off of turn 4. Ends up in the 54 and the 51. So I can't say that I can give Charles Whitehead the old Paul Tracy situation there. He did not get himself into this mess to begin with. This was one of those unfortunate issues there. Robert Gillard also kind of clapped in there a little bit. Take one look at it here. This is what happened here to Kevin Krasher. Looked like he drove it way too high up into the wall. Gets a piece there from the 39 and John the Diamond. And you can see this is where things get a little trickier. You still got to drive the track a little bit better than this here. You can't over throttle it off exits. The truck's not exactly just going to let you get away with it that easily. And that was one of those situations Kevin Krasher found himself in just a bad spot and a bad angle here. Causing the caution to come on out here for the first time tonight. Alright, while we bring everyone ready back down to the field and in the track side, I talked about the lemonade stand a little earlier on. Well, let's hit it up here with some of our lemonade boy. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, in the lemonade stand, 68, 69. Give it up for Steve Clegg and, or excuse me, Steve Clegg. Where the heck are you there, Stephen Pless?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Truck's feeling good. Having us a good start to this race. If we can hold it together.
I was about to say, out of the gate, man, it looked like you kind of had a pretty solid start from qualifying, but the race itself seems like it's getting a bit of a better view of some of the other drivers. It's just the track itself just really slick out there, or is it just not giving in to the way you guys usually like to race?
Homestead's a little tricky. It gives you think you have grip, and you don't have as much grip as you think you have. But it's one of my favorite tracks, so we'll see what we can do with it.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, though, Plush got a lot of work to do and time to be gathered, so we'll let you get back down at it and see what you can do for Olson Performance.
Yeah, it's a long race, so we'll see what we can come up with.
Best of luck there, Steven.
Thank you.
Steven Plush here today, looking to try to make his name and make it break it for him today. We'll see what happens down on the track side of things here. Let's take a listen now, though. One of the guys involved in that situation here is Jonathan Diamond here, and Diamond, as we have you on board right now with Shake and Bake Racing, obviously a little bit of a madness thing happening there off of corner 4. What happened down there with you and Kevin?
Yeah, he just, I don't know, he was, I guess, a few positions in front of me, then all of a sudden I see him in the wall, and he comes down. I was hoping he'd stay up top, he didn't. I think I just barely tapped him. Didn't look like he got loose from that, and all of a sudden he went around, and luckily I dodged the second part of it.
You certainly did here, and I know obviously the image-wise on the truck, really nothing there at all the way we're looking at, but you still have, as I said before with Steven Plush just a second ago, there's a lot of laps to be had on this track, and you got a lot of time really to play it out. How difficult would it be for you and your team really to make a jump for it here and get itself in a good position here as the playoffs are about to come up to here?
Right now we're just working with Clegg, making sure he's locked in. He's the next to last car in, so we're just making sure he's good, and then just as long as we're safe on these early laps, we should be fine for the rest of the race.
All right, well, nevertheless, Diamond, we do appreciate coming on board here today. We will see what goes down for you and the team, but best of luck to Shake and Bake and you and yourself.
Thank you.
The 39, ladies and gentlemen, Shake Jonathan Diamond here, the Diamondback himself, Kevin Wilson talking with us. Field will pilot the way around the field and on the track surface. See what we can hit up here right now as the Mullet Man, Robert Lawrence, will present for the Champion Power Equipment side of things with the F-150. The Chevrolet, though, side of James Broder Harris, keeping the Green Mountain Grills tag in play and in motion. Looking to represent them well here as they come off of corner number 4. Look at the pace car come off the track. They wait till the green flag to charge up. There's the green flag. We're back underway. And Harris right off the run. Talk about finding a whole lot of momentum on that bottom lane there. He finds a seam. He finds a run. Lawrence trying to fire him back down off the end though. Harris now looking to keep the bottom lane in check, looking to keep himself on the run zone. Here comes the bounty hunter, Sean Bounty, now making a move here with the Zenoa 34, right on the inside though, Sheldon Pearson, the 8. Maybe gonna try and get that first win that he's been looking for all these months, all these years here. We've had him on PTM Racing TV, the BM & Sons 8 Chevrolet, trying to put some Silverado action under the hood. The Mullet Man, though, Robert Lawrence, currently in a dead heat scruffle with his fellow Conrad, the 4 of the Marauder. The Mullet only fans versus a Marauder on the track, and Deja Vu, one with Champion on the back, one with Green Mountain Grills on the back. Both, though, representing for their sponsors and their crews extremely well. Dead heat to the line there off of the front straightaway. Impressive battling so far, and maybe we'll have a sign of things to come here on PTM Racing TV. Down off the back straightaway so far, Triple Trey, Candy Play Whitehead in the 33, keeping his distance, keeping himself in check here as the number 15, Jason Taylor, continues to kind of climb up the ladder, kind of climb through the field and in position, trying to take some of these guys down with them. Anytime as a driver you can find yourself in an opening and find yourself a little bit of room to work with, it certainly does make a bit of a better game plan advantage on how you want to go about racing your track out and how you want to race the truck up on this field. For this circuit though, these drivers are really putting themselves in a bit of a bad spot and as well as a bit of a crazy angle here because there are guys right now that are literally finding themselves on the cusp of being eliminated or on the cusp of finding or being in a bad angle, in a bad place for the future of their season. The championship obviously means more to them than anything else, and with only about a month and a half left of racing to go, it's really anybody's guess who's going to be able to make it into that top half, that top bracket. Marauder coming off the ends here of the inside zone for the 5 of the Mullen man, Robert Lawrence here. Robert trying to dive down again, deep inside, find a run, find a seam. He can hang. He's hanging in there with these guys. The Marauder, though, not giving an inch, not giving out just yet here. So far, it's been pretty clear-cut and pretty good on the fights. Right behind him, though, it's the 14 of Dan the Man Starner representing today for the Blue Springs Pure Water, number 14, F150, as Meeks in the 35. Scrounging away, looking to drown this thing. And victory, money, and success as the Camping World 35 is pushing not just some limits, but some drivers to their fullest potential and their maximum here. Coming right up at the 90, Richard Fornshell in the sure feed, Chevrolet Silverado trying to hold him off, trying to hold his line down. He knows he's in a bit of a rough spot here with that angle here in the middle, because that's kind of a spot, if you hit it just wrong off that exit, that will actually get your truck extremely loose and squared off. I know this from experience because I screwed around with that setup earlier today. And I'll tell you one thing, no matter what I did, no matter what I do, if I'm fresh or if I'm on a burnt set of tires, if I hit a wrong header, if I hit that wrong area of the middle section of that turn at full speed, I'm going for a spin. It didn't matter what I did, and I talked to guys earlier to make sure that it wasn't just me going crazy down there, and no, they said point blank, yeah, there is a flat spot off turn 2 and 4. Mainly turn 2, though, is where it's the worst at. Charles Whitehead, Adam Scrum here, badly damaged there on their trucks, but for the most part hanging in there, though, as the Mobile 195 continues to keep pace, keep in distance with the 51 of Charles Whitehead. Every driver for themselves so far. Facing their way through the field here, a little bit of movement coming from the back of the outhouse up through the White House still. Looks like Triple Trey, can't play Whitehead, gonna go right up against his own brother, his own flesh and blood. Brock Whitehead trying to keep the Pac-Man into ahead of the Buffalo Springs 33. The Whitehead's battling up a little bit while Taylor kind of looks to his inside here. Looks like he wants to bring the Remington name back to fame and put the other boys to shame. He's got a seam. He's got to run. Look at him dive it down to the bottom lane coming through turn 3. He's going to try to throw the haymaker to the top side. It's a slider engaged. Beautiful pass off the bottom end to the top side. He goes from the heavens above to the depths below, back up to heavens above. That's how you clear your name and how you clear your game. Great move by Trayson Taylor as he looks to try to do a daily double. He wants double trouble. He wants all of them for the price of one. Now Brockhead, I mean, I'll look at things two-way right now. Either he's being very conservative and trying to save up the fuel and save up his run, or he's not really getting as much of a groove and much of a speed distance in between where these other drivers are. And I may be thinking there could be something going on with the truck down there. He did tell me earlier today he's having technical failures from his audio and command, so we aren't able to talk with him here. We'll see if he's able to kind of hang in there throughout this race, throughout this event today. I don't know how well, though, he'll hang out as he continues to fight it off with his brother down there. Meanwhile, back in the back here, NPR boys currently just, well, doing NPR things. Caleb Forsythe in the 76, and then his boy back there in the number 22 and the 48, George Young and Steve Clegg, all representing it well. Young, the NPR crew member, while Steve Glegg, the Shake and Bake racing guy, trying to get the Wonder Bread number 22 into the fight and into the zone for a championship hunt. We've seen some chaotic finishes here on PTM Racing TV before. We've seen some heavy racing before with these drivers, and we're getting a little bit of that and then some right now. Pack starting to form up a little bit, kind of coming through the pace and into the zone just a little bit more. No one is safe around these parts of town, and we know that one all too well. Firing it back down real quick. Watch out for Joshua Caudill, the Black Mamba number 23, looking to put a Silverado ahead into the fight, into the fray. Judging by the determination, those eyes, and that focus he's got going on, I guarantee you one thing, he is staying extremely calm and collective on hitting his turns and hitting his corners up. Forsyth coming up a little bit down at him there, the 54 right behind him. Robert Gillard lap down currently, just trying to hang in there and maybe get a break with your, if he can get a restart in a caution flight, might be able to get his lap back with the old lucky dog engaged. The real Tree 54 is in a bit of a bad place right now, and he knows that all too well. He's just hoping and praying to hang in there. Gillard looking to keep his distance, keep it changed in play. George Young going to fall back behind just a little bit as we go right back up to the front. And the Mullet Man, Robert Lawrence, the only fans boy currently getting put a little bit less in the seam and more into the fire here because Homestead is not treating him too well with trying to hang in there with the Marauder James Harris. Harris really wants another championship to his name. He's done it before here on PTM Racing TV. I think he would like to add another one to his resume. He hasn't been there in a while, so who knows there. There's a Fornshell up top side while Sheldon Pearson works the bottom lane yet again. And Pearson and Fornshell coming a little bit closer for comfort, I think, than Fornshell was hoping for. Pretty close on the draw there. Very hard racing by a sure feed sealed pet pole number 90 of Richard Fornshell. As you see him gaining the ground, gaining the distance here right at this moment. This is the distance between him and Pearson now. That lap right there, it was a 0.6 of a second gap gain. That's a lot of running, a lot of speed just from that little push on its own. Pearson could be burning up the tires just a little bit more than he really should be and really be kind of questioning his mindset here on whether or not that was actually the right effort, the right game plan to be kind of pushing it up with them into that field. And now here comes old Star Nuts himself in the number 14, the big blue. The Blue Springs 14 right in the fight, into the fray, side by side with that 35 Camping World Machine of Tyler Meeks. Meeks and him have had a history before of racing hard on many tracks, especially these 1.5 mile long ones, and he's doing it right here and now. He can still hang in there with them. The Gainesville, Georgia native Stephen Pless didn't have to make too much of a travel here today. Obviously a little bit further south than most of the other tracks he has to go to, which are more up to the west or the north. Pearson now falling further and further back, has a slight bit of damage on the left side there. Maybe a little trading paint, looking for a position or a top 5 here. Pearson though, gotta give him credit where credit's due. He's got a strong short run into that car. And he's got a pretty good idea of what he wants to play it out to be, but the problem is he's trying to do two things here, which is basically he's trying to keep a clear-cut eye and clear-cut way of racing out with the field, and he's also struggling to really pace himself out and really bring out everything he can to the track. I don't know how he's going to feel about that or really what he's going to try to do for later on, but you can see kind of the determination that some of these guys focus in with and really focus on when they're out on that track here. One of them exactly being the Marauder James Harris in the number 4 today. Onboard camera here with that old Marauder, the tough Texan. Had to travel a little bit further down to the east end of the way here on the south side of Florida. He told me earlier today, though, it's like, at least I'm glad it's still warm down here, because down in Texas, it got a little bit snowy up here, but that's alright, because I love heating things up on my Greedy Mountain Grills truck when I can get things going. Well, he's certainly done that and then some, as right now, top 10 continue to fight it out. Garth Snyder now intervening in the Valvoline 88. Garth looking to maybe make a move up on the 82 of the Pac-Man Chevrolet Silverado. Brock Brockhead himself looking to hang in there. He told me earlier he's also had technical difficulties in his engine, same way Sean Bounty's having troubles with his truck here today. He said he just cannot for the life of him get those rigs figured out. He could not get the trucks figured out. And he's been trying desperately to kind of hang in there. Bounty actually having to run a whole new rig. He's actually on a backup rig today. He crashed his rig earlier in qualifying due to a troublesome issue with his truck into the area of control. He said the way he felt, it hurt so bad, man. I don't even know how the heck I'm still racing today. The attacker Colin Lines Matter, Dak the Whack, or as he likes to be known as, I guess tonight, he says apparently he wants to be known as the Whack Attack, or the Thacka Whack Machine, because apparently that's his trademark on the track. That's what he wants to do. Out of that, the Marauder James Harris just said to him, "Why don't you just go ahead and make fun of this Crusader here for me and have him say that on television?" Well, thanks a lot there, whoever did maybe say that. I don't even know why. But hey, I mean, at the end of the day, Thacker is a character in his own right, so I mean, you gotta give love to the boy when you need to, and he can certainly race too, that's for sure. Continuing to march their way through the field right now. Lap traffic going to be a bit of a factor here for Charles Whitehead now up ahead of the Richard Fornshell and Stephen Pless, as now Pless now comes up closer to the field. Bless going down low, looking to see where this one would go. Fornshell still blocking his run, keeping him in check and in play. Fornshell today, really, if I'm going to be honest with you folks, I'm quite impressed so far with this. He's been very consistent, very conservative, under control, and as we're reaching past the halfway point here in about a couple laps or so, I'd say he may be a favorite to watch out. He may be a bit of a dark horse if you can hang in there with Lawrence and Harris. I don't know. You got to be careful on how you plan your pit strategies out and how you plan yourself out on the track. And I feel like today he's doing a great job keeping it in check and keeping the momentum alive. And that's the key to success here. Meeks going into pit road here and kind of playing in with Garth Snyder and Steve Clegg now move up into the top 10. Garth Snyder looking to maybe make a run off here as he continues to fight off here, trying to catch that lone gold ranger there in the number 22, Steve Clegg. By the way, Clegg 16 spots up, started 25th, the hard charger of the night without question. And he'll back it down, going down into pit road as well here, so he'll set himself up for this industrial little spot here. We'll see what happens for the most part here as I continue to go through the field, go through the changes here. Race fans, when we come back here, there are still plenty of racing to be had, still plenty of moments to see. Be sure to stay tuned. We got more action coming your way. Tonight's race, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you in part by our good friends over at Green Mountain Grills. And you guys need the best wood-fired pellet grills in the market. There is only one brand name that we are trusted in, and that is what the Green Mountain Grills can. Be sure to check out all their latest product line and their services they bring to the table at greenmountaingrills.com. Check out their social media platforms as well at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, so you never miss a beat, you never miss a stone. Thank you again to Green Mountain Grills for sponsoring the Fast and Fun Truck Series. Back to the live action right now currently as we're still pushing through the field, pushing through the runs here. Fornshell actually got right up there with Triple Trey K to play Whitehead, as Whitehead actually now kind of keeping his distance and moving up the chains. Fornshell falling back behind. Stephen Plus going to take the race lead over for the moment. Bit crazy to say the least here. Stephen Plus and Trey Whitehead kind of taking their own reins, taking their own ground here. At Buffalo Springs 33 Chevrolet Silverado looking to maybe pull off some crazy moves and some crazy bonsai passes here today. Another guy that's looking to maybe make a bit of a change in the guard and changing of the position. Looking for that championship run. It is the attacker of Golden Lives Matter, the Thacker Whack man himself, John Thacker. Oh, and it looks like he'll honestly trying to go in there with some of the other guys here as Caudill and him follow into pit road. So pit strategies are really getting tested here. Everybody taking a chance and taking aim at what they want to do here. Robert the Mullet Man Lawrence currently a lap down the moment. Same with the Marauder James Harris, although that will easily change here in a minute when Plus, Young, and Bounty go into pit road. Plus has now gone straight for pit road. He's entered in. Bounty and Young still staying out. I don't know necessarily if I like the strategy here to stay out for the longest of time and longest can be, because again, you can't really stay out for that 50 laps. And Young completely misses his pit road exit. That's going to cost him a lot of time. That is not a good sign as a driver. You never want to miss pit road, and especially when it's going to slow you down that tremendously. That just gave a huge opening to anybody that was behind him or struggling to keep up or get with him. Now he's going to have to find a way to push that thing even further through the field and further on the track. As the Bounty here, Sean Bounty in the 34th Sonoa machine will look to dice it up and put this one up in to his pit box now. Here he heads for pit road, so he'll lay it thin and not make it spin. So that's a good idea for him in this case. You can see him coming down that end, that long stretch of road to pit road, as now the Marauder James Harris will become your new leader once again as the Mullet Man Robert Lawrence closes it in. You can see how hard sometimes you just have to wheel it around this Homestead Miami Speedway track. And really, the funny thing about this track to begin with, folks, is really this wasn't even the actual design they had in mind when they got the track built up down here in Homestead, Florida. Originally, Homestead Miami Speedway used to be an actual little smaller version of old Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which was a lot flatter in the track banks and a lot flatter in the surface itself. They had to reconfigure and model it up quite a bit to even get to tip-top race ready shape for these fender cars here, and fender trucks that come out on the track daily. You got to remember something though. This was really back then in the era of open wheel and NASCAR crossover. Yeah, what am I talking about there? Well, back then, IndyCar, USAC, and IndyCar and the IRL League, they were having a little bit of a problem down there with things about politics and situation as well, and kind of how everything transpired there. Really can't point any fingers to whose fault really it is. It's just kind of a collaboration of everybody involved. But all in all, what happened was that as we were going further into the 90s and going further past the 80s, obviously there was a bit of a change from the stock car racing side of things. They wanted to have a lot bigger crowds and a lot bigger fields, so that's when the mile and a half really started to pop up and come through. So that's when you got tracks like Texas Motor Speedway popping up. You had tracks like literally North Wilkesboro being put to shame and being put down off on the list. And it's only really now that we're getting that back, but that's kind of beyond the point. You had tracks like Homestead Miami Speedway being built up actually from the ground in. Even Phoenix Raceway had its own little fair share of being built up a little bit. Even Richmond Raceway was another track. Same thing with Bristol, that had a configuration and done and had been fixed up to kind of match the time and era for those cars and the fenders and the trucks, the Xfinity and the Cup Series, or back then known as the Busch Series. So once everything kind of came to play and came in through on the changes, that's when we saw the advent of open wheel cars also coming out on the tracks, coming out onto the surfaces with the open wheel oval races. As many were taking notice of how NASCAR was and what made it so popular. Unfortunately, though, because of the politics that the USAC and open wheel generation had at its sleeve and at its fingertips, it ended up becoming kind of a bit of a goulash and a bit of a panic issue for how racing would shape and form throughout the years. And it's only now that really things have changed. But really, the configuration of this track was designed, I would say, more so towards the obviously Indy style kind of racing, the Indy course racing battles that would bring in open wheel, because open wheel, having big banked ends and big banked surfaces like this is a little bit harder to really run off of comparatively to a flat banked end with a track like that, because that really forces drivers to have to really watch their spots, time their runs, and make for some interesting passes. That's why Indianapolis Motor Speedway is pretty much kind of one of those go-to tracks when it kind of comes to watching that stuff, especially for the Indy 500. Anything with fenders and cars like that really do not work as well as they do at Indy as they would work here today at Homestead, because when they had to repave it, they had to clean it up completely and took it from that rectangular style track to that oval style configuration. And maybe, I don't know if you can tell, but we'll take you on board here with us. You can see kind of still a little bit of the remnant of what that old square shaped body style design was of this track. It still kind of is resident in there, because it's not fully a full-on oval style. It kind of has a mixture of a rectangular oval in there. Whereas I mean by that is it's not quite straightened out where it would be normally you would see with the Michigan International Speedway or a Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's just kind of more rounded in, kind of turned in more off, and they kind of remove that straight end banking that would be in the turns like you would see at Indy. So that is kind of the reason why I say that's what makes for some really impressive racing, because it's kind of a crossover and a mix-up of two worlds colliding together, and the track itself being as worn down, tore up as it is, it actually makes things a lot interesting to work around and really race it out off of. So got to remember, a little bit of it's more tore up surface, more tore down, a little more slicked up area makes for drivers to really have to come out and really bring out their racing styles versus their class and expertise on how to stay in a pack or in a draft like you would say at Talladega or Daytona. And again, for you fans that are joining us for the first time, yes, we just had our Pushing Limits Racing League Season 4 opener. Just come out here at the PTM Racing TV Facebook live stream. So if you missed it, check on over to our YouTube end. We have the full racing broadcast there. You can check it out on a PTM Racing TV YouTube channel. But again, while you want to don't jump around too quickly yet, because we still have a lot of action to go here with the Green Mountain Girls Fast and Fun Truck Series here right now on the live section of Facebook Live. So for those that are tuned in still with us, we do appreciate you coming on board, and thank you so much for your support. If you do want to continue to support us and help get us grow even further, just like that like and follow and subscribe button here from Facebook and the YouTube side of things. It helps our channels and helps out ourselves to get bigger and better, so we can present to you bigger shows and better races. Russ the full board, Kilgore and Steve Clegg right now having a little bit of a tussle, a little shootout if you may say. Each driver making their point, making their case, saying, hey, you know, you got to run on me, I got to run on you. Let's see where you want to go. You want to do this today, you want to do that? All right, well, let's have a little fun. Play it out from start to finish. That's how we're having it right now. That's how it's been going down so far today. This has been one heck of a race night and one heck of a battle so far in many regards and many nights here this way. Kilgore starting to get a little bit further ahead to the field right now. Robert Lawrence, Stephen Pless, and Trey Whitehead all trying to hunt down this man right here at the Marauder, James Harris, and the number 5 of the OnlyFans machine. This is the mullet man himself, Robert Lawrence. Lawrence just swinging it straight inside, making some hard racing big moves here. Keeping himself in control and keeping himself in the playing field. Things have been pretty controlled and pretty calm here, to say the least, here for Homestead Miami Speedway. And we were kind of expecting this too. This isn't a real track that can really bring 3 and 4 wide scenarios and situations up all the time. This is more of a kind of a long-lasting ordeal. It's kind of a driver's paradise on how you get through from start to finish. The destination definitely can be a bit of a hassle to get to, but this place can make great racing and some great moments in between. All just depends on one thing: how do the drivers handle and maintain themselves when they come out on this track? .58 of 100 completed so far right at the moment. Laps winding down, more as we go. Still plenty of time though. Back on board here with Triple Trey, came to play Whitehead right now. Is currently he keeps the fight up for Richard Forncell and that 90 sure feed machine. Whitehead representing for the Buffalo Springs side. Thanks for that number 33 tonight. Obviously wants to make them proud. Really bring up a whole lot of run and a whole lot of game plan to his name. But I think even he'll admit up front that he knows that really he's not the top of the roster. He's not the top of the list here when it comes to guys to watch out for. He's been in a close proximity and a close hunt there with drivers before, and we'll catch more of him as we go along, as he will be in the Backfire Sim Racing side of things here coming up soon. Forncell and Whitehead, currently the main battlers going on. Main drivers just continuing to fight out for position, jockey around the track and hope for something. Field kind of stretching down, kind of getting further out, and honestly, this is just kind of turned into the Marauder Harris show, man. I don't know how the heck he is just got so much grip, so much ground on these guys. I don't even know. Maybe he's just got something these drivers don't know. Looking at times-wise, looking at everything here, he's got a 32.94, which is not even the fastest here. The Mullen Man Lawrence with a 32.81 on their fastest lap, but consistently-wise, Harris has been pretty much either a tenth slower or faster than Lawrence each lap, and sometimes getting a one little wrong move or stutter step there from Lawrence has been slowing him down just enough to where he can get a bit of a grip on him. Every inch, every corner counts in oval racing, and it certainly can make the difference between success or failure, depending on how you look at things and how you're running around the track. Lawrence closing in gap in, closing more up through the field. Jacob Givens, the number 20 driver, trying to keep him distance in play, trying to keep himself in check. Not giving out just yet here. Doesn't want to lose out too much in this case. Wants to keep himself in check. Wants to keep himself in one piece. The Rod Baker, number 2 here of Rustaful Work Kyoko, representing for the NPR boys as well today, even though it may not seem like it because you usually see those guys in their usual NPR colors. Nope, not in this case anyway. The roar of these motors and the roar of the crowd here, as we saw earlier on, just kind of keeping a close eye on things. You can see the proximity of this crowd here tonight. 20,000 in attendance here, watching from home, watching 5 on the track here. Everybody came here to expect a show and came here to see some racing. They're definitely getting it and then some. But undoubtedly, everybody is also wondering, you know, how long will these drivers be able to last out and go the distance and counter the mile? Considering there is a lot of guys here that would not mind really bringing some craziness in between and hitting it up here. Right now, I mean, like I saw earlier on, Fortshell been kind of a bit of a shock and a surprise here for how well he's been kind of staying the distance, staying the grip in. Sheldon Pearson, much the same. But Harris, Lawrence, not surprised they're in the top half, the upper echelon. Stephen Plesser will say though, kind of a bit of a shock as well. Seeing him really doing as well as he is, and I'm definitely proud of him for hanging up there with his head hanging high and his driving style really put up the gear. But I think I will say this much. We are missing a few heavy hitters here in the Zenny fan, Craig Zanzik, as well as Eli the Wild Child. Child's right now working the race control side of things for today's action here at the Great Battle Girls Fast Food Truck Series. But I'm just going to know this. Where the heck is this Zenny fan at? Because certainly when he's around, we know there's a man that's kind of following and pursuing, falling in line, because he's usually one that starts it up to begin with. Kind of quiet tonight. I was kind of wondering where he ran off to or where he went to, and that certainly is the case here. 30 laps remain now here on PTM Racing TV. The grips, the times, the zones, all coming into play. Every single one of these drivers doing whatever they can to whatever they can pace in. Not a whole lot of run left, not a whole lot of speed really to gain off of or really build into protection. Every driver in contention for their own thing, kind of their own stuff here. Tyler Meeks at 35. I've talked about him before here on PTM Racing TV, and I will say, you know, I keep bringing it up, but he's definitely this season, in my opinion, had a breakout year. Not only as a driver, but just really as an individual. I feel like he's just kind of finally found his place, found his mark, found his grip in his run, and hasn't really gotten too ahead of himself, gotten too out all over the place. He's just kind of been under control and kind of letting the truck do its own thing and letting it race out. And whatever happens, happens. And really, I think that's been kind of helping him out throughout this venture and throughout the season. Same really can be said for Sean Boundy. We knew he was fast because his rail course racing skills were top notch from the Riley Road Course Challenge Series, as well as the Riley Challenge Series in general, which involved a few of those oval tracks that we've seen him race out on before and really take it up a few notches. But at the same time, I mean, Boundy to me has not really as many wins as I feel like maybe he could be getting or really could have brought to the table. He's only got a few he's got a couple of road course wins. Actually won a Watkins Glen 2 of all things when he defeated out the old Zanny fam himself. Bit of a shocker and a head scratcher we're still not even able to figure out to this day. But the fact that he's been just locked and loaded and still under control and stable, I think really it's just a testament to his driving style and his handling. He's just been so clever, so tactful, and really keeping himself in check and in play. Jason Taylor and James Harris right now farting up the field and almost pretty much coming to lap this entire track out, man. This is incredible to say the least. I know generally it's kind of hard to believe a driver can just go ahead and take charge and center aim out of all the people involved, but yeah, that's kind of the craziness that kind of comes with these mile and a half. Sometimes you can either get a good run and stay in position and contention for a win, or sometimes you find yourself literally just being put laps down just because drivers have just got a better run off you than you realize. That's exactly what we're seeing right now. Jason Taylor going into pit road, which means the 4 will take the lead right back away from him. And maybe other than just a few laps where he was put a lap down or two because he was in pit road, and I've not really seen Harris even in a bad spot all day long. He's just been so calm, cool, and collective, and it's very unusual here for a marauder of his stature. He's usually pretty hot. He's usually pretty hot on the model and hot on the speed. Not even worried about anything else but just giving it everything at everyone. West still ahead of the field now, lapping down. Garth Snyder here in the 15th spot. Joshua Caudill gonna go right up there with George Young. Young also a lap down in this case here. Caudill pretty much keeping his distance and keeping himself under control as the drivers continue to weigh their options in and figure out what they want to do or what they even can bring to the table, because this is not looking good for anybody that's involved other than the top guys the top half, really. And the only one that really has a chance to kind of give Harris a run for his money at this point is actually Stephen Bless, unless a pit strategy mishap might have cost Harris a lot of time here. I don't really think it's going to cost him anything, because unless he's really just stayed away from trouble, he stayed away from other drivers, and when he gets to him, he just passes them with the grace of ease. He's just been so consistent, so under control. And really, that's been a big thing that's been kind of helping him out. '39's on the diamond here, right in the fray, into the zone. Every driver for themselves here. No one gives an inch. Obviously in the Green Mountain Girls Fast Fun Truck Series, but that doesn't mean they can't make for a little bit of a battle here. A little scooting down to the top, to the bottom, from the heavens above to the depths below, and then around she goes. The 39's on the diamond, getting passed in by that 23, Joshua Caudill. Just astounding, under control, under the weather here. And Adam Scrum, you can see the 95. He just had a bad break earlier on. He got into that big wreck there that Kevin Kushner kind of caught himself into. Kind of tagging the wall protection off of turn number 4 or 3 earlier on. Then kind of spinning himself around off of 4. Richard Forenshaw looks like he's got damage on that right side there, unfortunately, and that is going to cost him the top spots here as he's currently moved into 3rd. He went from 3rd all the way down to the 17th. Damage on the right side, I would presume, probably has something to do with the walls of turn 1, 2, or 3, and 4. A lot of guys usually get up there a little quick for their own taste and their own good, and kind of get a bit of a tag and a bit of a headache down there, just making a move there. I've seen it plenty of times before where guys just kind of watch themselves, and for the moment, and the next thing you know, everything just goes straight to the wire and hanging on for dear life. Trey Whitehead been kind of keeping his distance, keeping himself in check, but as you see here, Tyler Meeks has not exactly been on that same page with him. He is now pumping the gas and pumping the throttle up. He knows time is running out. 14 laps remain. He is currently sitting on the bubble with the top 3, and he also knows that he wants himself a solid finish and performance here with this crew. A big finish here will help him get even further in playoff contention and the championship hunt. A championship hunt is all they need here. The 8 of Pearson currently, man, kind of the sad part of the day. Unfortunately, he had quite a show and quite a run for him and his team out of the gate. And it's only now the truck is finally starting to push up a few and push in its limits. Right there with Russ the full aboard Kilgore in the number 2. Currently the Rod Racer trying to hang in there. Rod Baker 2, Russ Kilgore hanging in there as the PM and Sons 8 right there on his tail end nose. And you see our race leader, the former 4 of the Marauder, James Harris, only about 11 laps to go when he gets to that finish line. He has been piloting and hanging on by a thread most of these race seasons, most of the times when it comes to battling out and actually getting a win on the normal circumstances. Tonight, that is the complete opposite. He has been absolutely nothing but just pure, dominant, unalterated in his horsepower and control. That certainly says something for a driver that has had much bad luck throughout Cup and Trucks this entire season. I presume probably a lot of that has to do with my old broadcaster curse I've been known to throw at him or a time or two, so. Hey, at the end of the day, as long as I kept it out of trouble and kept it in play, I mean, can't say it came at me about it. So that's all I got to say about that, but hey man, what a day and what a night really it has indeed been. Coming up with 10 laps to go now. The field is stretched out. The stretched thick and fan, thick and spin. Stephen Pless 8 seconds ahead nearly of Tyler Meeks, while Trey Whitehead and Meeks battle it out for that final top spot. Dan the Man Starter here looking to maybe make one last little headway, one last little push up to the front, get up to both of them here. He knows though that if he wants to, he's going to have to give it a little bit more go and a little bit more speed around. Right down to the corners here, everybody for himself as we pilot him in. You can see now a little bit of lap traffic going to be a bit of a factor here for Trey Whitehead as Tyler Meeks gets a bit of a jump ahead, a little speed boost off those corners, kind of keeping his distance and keeping it in check here. And Sean Bowdy kind of getting a little bit in between. Whoa, a little bit of problems there between the drivers as Russ Kilgore, as Fornshell got in there a little bit with Sean Boundy, and the Sure Feed machine got kind of taken for a little bit of a loop-de-loop and a little ride off that end. Sean Boundy, I don't believe by any means wanted that to happen, or did he want anything to do with those guys getting up there at him here. That is a wild, wild circumstance and situation that just popped up there. Man, you want to talk about crazy moments and crazy racing in between. This is certainly one of them today. Whitehead, though, and Meeks, really the last-ditch battle here. It's really our only battle we got going on for the top spots. Meeks trying to get something going. Whitehead's been doing everything he can all day long to make a move off of him. He just can't seem to get it to go until now. Looks like Whitehead might try one last little charge here. Down from the heavens above to the depths below, up there where he goes, and Whitehead taking it over here from Meeks. Tyler Meeks now has to find a way to drive it in, maybe build up some momentum and control the truck down on the end. Whitehead been so consistent, so on tempo, and so patient here. He knows it. He just has to stay focused. Starter though, not giving up. Maybe looking to go to the stars and put some high in the sky. Stephen Plus, give the man credit where credit's due. Impressive performance here in the 69 machine. Been the first time we've really seen him pull off an amazing run like this to this time around in the season. I think that if anything, this was really what he's been looking for all this time and all this get around. But just could never get the run going because he always found himself trapped or in a bit of a mess or a hassle down there. Things certainly have kind of cleared up and gotten much better though for him and his crew. And everyone else in between. Well, they've been just really been running for their rights and running for their running for everything they got. Trey Whitehead now taking over a solid third place spot here. Top 3 laps remain. They'll go 2 to go this next time by. Green flag will fly high in the air as you see Meeks in the 35 doing everything he's got to put a run on Trey Whitehead. Meeks is nowhere near in sight to make any big passes here, but there is one that is staying the man starter all of a sudden just completely tore this track a new one. He's coming for them all. He doesn't want just one spot, he wants 2 spots. Can he get a run and get a seam around the 33? Trey has got to be patient. He's got to just keep an eye on the corners. He knows what's behind him and what lies in wait. But meanwhile, running off of turn number 4, we will pilot him down with only the white flag left to be seen. White flag high in the air for the Marauder James Harris, but we still got ourselves a whole lot of run coming up from here from Whitehead and Starner. Starner looking for a big move pass. Whoa, Meeks all of a sudden lost it completely in the turn there off turn 3. He drove it in so deep, he just tried to get it to stick. He'll open the door for Sheldon Pearson, but off of turn 3, down into turn 4. Change the white to the checkered flag because it's going to belong to the Marauder, James Harris. Now one more go around here off the back straightaway, looking for this one to end it out. Trey Whitehead trying to hold off Starner one last time. Stephen Pless will come away second, and to the finish line, Trey Whitehead will hold off Starner for a 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Finish with Sheldon Pearson rounding out the field in that end, and Meeks give him credit where credit's due there, folks. He didn't give out, didn't give in to anything here, but that unfortunately was not the case to what he wanted here. There he is, race fans, the winner at Homestead Miami Speedway, representing for his fellow Texans down there. A performance and a half and a showcase of his talents and his control. That may be the opening that may have been the race moments he's been looking for quite some time. This thing was dialed in from start to finish as Brazilian wants to try to keep that truck a little bit cleaned up and a little bit under control. Everybody else coming in to park for the night as Harris continues to burn it down here on the track. Let's take a look at our final results here. Top 10 on the screen. Marauder James Harris comes away with the victory. Second going to Stephen Pless. Third to Triple J Kingplay Whitehead. Fourth to Stan Starner. Fifth to Sheldon Pearson. Sixth to Steve Clegg. Seventh Tyler Meeks. Eighth to Ross Kilgore. Ninth to Jason Taylor. Brock Whitehead coming away 10th. Rounds out the top 10 in this case. The rest of our field of drivers here presented up as well. As you can see, everyone other than Eli the Wild Child had quite a show and a bit of a story to their name here, depending on where they're at. Some more interesting than others, but nevertheless, there was a story to be had, and it ends up coming away with this performance and this finish. We are now about to come on down and take a listen in here with the top 3. We'll start it up as we are one to do with our 3rd place finisher here tonight. Representing for Shake and Bake Racing League today, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Triple Trey camp as Triple Trey. He gained to play Whitehead, comes in on board with a 3rd place. Congratulations, Trey, on that. And you had a lot going on. First off, you had a first knockdown, Meeks. Then he gets a little bit loose, loses control. Starner then comes right up at you here. And next thing you know, you're doing everything you can to fight it out, and you somehow hold off to get a 3rd place finish. I mean, how did you win that battle out between those two?
Yeah, at the end there with Starner, I mean, I guess I had a little bit more in the tank than I thought I did. Was finally able to somehow trail break on the entry to the, on the entry to 3, and it was able to help me, kind of ride it down to the bottom and then kind of coast it and ride it off all the way out to the wall, and it was working. The thing with Meeks, I mean, we were racing hard. I just, he checked up a little bit early on 1. I guess I caught him, but he was still on the brakes or something. I hit him and ended up getting by him. Starner, I guess he tried to go 3 wide, but I made sure that wasn't going to happen. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. I even ended up getting into the back of Foreign Shell on like 78, 79, and that gave me engine damage. I was down RPMs. I had to come in and take my faster pair on that final green flag stop, and just fortunate to finish P3 here.
For sure there. I know obviously you had a lot going on, a lot of work really to play out throughout this event, throughout the show, but nevertheless though it worked out just fine, worked out pretty good. You're going to come away with the W, so who do you want to thank you for this finish tonight?
Yeah, Clegg over here at Midpack, or no, it's not Midpack Racing. Wow, I am not with Thacker. NPR, no, you're bad.
I mean,
Can you hear me?
yeah,
Okay.
I'm about to say, I think they will consider that a little bit on you there, my friend. But go ahead.
Yeah, it's Shake and Bake Racing. I was having my mic problems, but yeah, Shake and Bake Racing, Clegg, Diamond, Jason Taylor, all of the guys over here at the team. It was an open setup tonight, so we were able to get a decent set, and we ran pretty good as a team. Well, all night long, and obviously Green Mountain Grills and James and all the admins for putting this on. Just like I said, fortunate to come out P3, and we'll see where we're at next week when the playoffs start.
We certainly will indeed. We'll never less try. We do appreciate coming on board here. Congratulations, my friend, and we'll catch you next time on out.
Yep, appreciate it.
Triple Trey, he came to play Whitehead, and I'm pretty sure he's battling some kind of cold down there. I don't know if COVID finally got to him or not. Believe me, I'm still waiting for the day. I'm probably going to get it myself again, but let's talk real quick with Stephen Pless here as we're now going to join in from the Oval Sim Performance Camp here. Stephen Pless coming away with really another solid performance, solid showing here, and looks like he actually just left the building. I do not know where he ran off to. I guess he's going to go ahead and just take a second place finish, call it a day. So we'll just let him be and leave him for the night. But now, race fans, coming away with the W and the victory tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Marauder, James Harris, and the number 4, and a performance unlike any other here for this season. This was a whole 180 for you and your team, bud.
Yeah, man, this was one hell of a win for us. It was kind of a meaningless race. We're locked into the playoffs. Some guys didn't show up tonight because they were locked in and they wanted to watch the college championship. But I get it. And I think this was a statement win for us and our team, man. We dominated this sucker and had one hell of a setup thanks to our crew chief, Randall Fox.
You certainly had a lot of us. You had a lot of speed to really work off of, and a lot of control under the hood here, obviously. So I have to ask you, Homestead didn't really present much of a challenge to you or really any of the guys out here when it came to holding the line down, but gaining the speed seemed like it was a little easier said than done. Why was that here on this track?
Yeah, man, this track is it's very, very easy to overdrive, and if you're not careful, you can very easily tear up that right front tire. And Homestead is a wide track with 3 different lanes, and you can run each lane depending on how your truck is set up, and also how your truck is set up and which lane you run. Affects your tire wear in different ways. So there's so many variables to this track. That's one reason why I love it so much.
For sure there, and obviously you made it probably good love for you and the team here as you're going to come away with the W and a victory, and again, just one step closer to maybe another championship on your hands. So who do you want to thank you for this one?
Yeah, man, I'm pumped. Let me first and foremost thank my wife for letting me do all this sim racing and putting up with all my time away from her and my son. Randall Fox for building us one hell of a setup this week. It seems like every time he builds us a setup, we're pretty dominant. Could have won Michigan, but we won't talk about that today.
Oh, believe me, Janic's been kind of messing with me on that a little bit. I don't think he wants to forget about it.
Yeah, but me and him been running a lot of public races together, so we've made up, but he knows I still owe him. Let me thank Kevin Cursor, Blackstone Management, Green Mountain Grills for sponsoring my truck and this league. And they also sponsor my cup car, Champion Power Equipment, Blaster, AC Avalanche, and Blue Spring Living Water.
All right. Well,
on to the playoffs, baby.
Yeah, the playoffs are now in your sights and in your mind. Congratulations, Harris, and we do appreciate coming on board, bud.
10-4. I just want to point out how we went from 25th in the points after race 5 to P2, so we're rolling, buddy.
I think you are rolling a little bit more than usual. Take it easy out there, man.
All right, man. Thanks.
The Marauder, James Harris, takes no prisoners and takes nobody in charge, but second place belonging to Stephen Pless. in a strong pursuit as well here. Plus, congratulations on that second place finish. Been a long time coming, bud, but you literally only had about a 6-7 gap difference between you and Mr. Harris, and looked like if maybe a caution through, you might have actually been able to take him down.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen what we could have done if I could have gotten a late race caution. Unfortunately, about 10 laps into that last run, I got into the wall pretty hard off of 2, and it killed any hope I had of running him down. Would have been fun.
It certainly would have indeed here. I know, obviously, though, you wanted to really make a showcase for yourself and your team and your crew, and you definitely did that and then some here with this race today. So I have to ask you tonight, as you have pretty much now kind of shown the field and shown the track that you guys are out here to fight and put on a show. I mean, what will it continue on here for you and your team to continue with this for the next racing of the playoffs?
Well, starting race 1 of the playoffs, I guess I'm not gonna make the playoffs, so I'm just gonna keep rolling, keep put my nose down, keep working at it, try to get as much momentum as I can going into the next season.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, Stephen, we do appreciate you coming on board here, and I know you're excited to be here in second place today. So I have to ask you, man, as you're getting your first podium within the show of the season, who do you want to thank you for that?
I'd like to thank BSM, Champion, and GMG for putting this on, giving us a place to race, showcase our skill week to week. Also want to thank the guys at Lemonade Stand for letting me be a part of their organization, and also Heather Jenkinson Designs for hooking me up with these sweet Lemonade Stand graphics.
It definitely has pretty awesome looking graphics, always catches our eye. So thanks for coming on board here tonight with the Green Mountain Girls crew, and we certainly hope to see more of you in the future, my friend. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Stephen Tyler Plus, ladies and gentlemen, coming away with a second place finish here tonight to round out your field. And a big thank you again to Green Mountain Girls as always. Big thank you to all those that tuned in. From all of us here at PTM Racing TV, we certainly hope you enjoy the show, and we will see you when the green flag is flying high next time. But for now, be safe, God bless, and take care of yourselves out there.